A lottery winner goes bankrupt, while a janitor quietly retires a millionaire. How does that make sense? If money is just math, why doesn't more cash always mean a better life? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your money decisions are barely about money. They're about psychology, your hidden biases, blind spots, and the stories you tell yourself. Most people think they're rational with money, but the evidence says otherwise. So, what's really running the show? Let's dive into the biggest money trap almost nobody sees coming. Picture this. You get a raise at work. Excitement, right? But within months, your bank account feels just as empty as before. Welcome to the Hedonic Treadmill, the invisible force that keeps you running in place, no matter how much you earn. Upgrade your phone, your car, your coffee, your expectations catch up overnight. The weird part, your happiness barely moves, but your expenses explode. Most people never realize they're chasing a moving target, and that's what keeps them broke, regardless of income. Now, flip that around. Meet Grace, a teacher earning average pay, but who automates her savings every month. 10 years later, she isn't rich, but she's never stressed about bills. The catch? She doesn't feel wealthier, she just worries less. That's real progress, hidden from Instagram. Here's what most people get wrong. We think more money means more control, but often, it's the opposite. The more you earn, the more tempting it is to let your spending spiral. Remember the lottery winner? Studies show 70% go broke within a few years. Meanwhile, the janitor quietly investing a little each month builds more wealth than most bankers. It's not about what you know. It's about what you do, even when nobody's watching. But there's another trap. Loss aversion. The pain of losing money feels twice as strong as the joy of gaining it. That's why you panic when stocks drop, but barely react when they rise. Here's the twist. The people who get rich aren't smarter. They're just less likely to freak out and sell at the worst moment. Now, let's talk about how your childhood shapes your money brain. If you grew up hearing money doesn't grow on trees, odds are you still worry about running out. But if your parents splurged on everything, you might chase that dopamine hit of buying, no matter the cost. Most money scripts run so deep, you don't even notice them. Here's what's wild. You can change your money story, but it takes more than willpower. The real lever? Changing your environment, not just your mindset. Set your bank to auto-transfer money out of sight, and suddenly, you don't miss what you never see. That's why the janitor quietly wins. He set up systems, so he didn't have to constantly make tough choices. Here's a curveball. Even rich people self-sabotage, just in fancier ways. Ever heard of lifestyle creep? The more you earn, the more you feel entitled to spend. It's why even high earners can end up broke, just with bigger toys. Now zoom out. Why do some cultures save, while others spend? Turns out it's not genetic. It's the stories we repeat. Saving as security versus you only live once. But there's a deeper twist. The stories you're told are rarely about you. They're about your parents' fears. If you don't examine them, you keep living them on autopilot. So how do you break the cycle? Start with one uncomfortable question. What's the real reason I want more money? Most people never ask. They just run faster on the treadmill. But the people who win at money know their why and use it to set boundaries. Here's a trick. Set a good enough number. When you hit it, resist the urge to upgrade everything. That's the only way to ever feel free, not just rich. But there's a catch almost nobody admits. You can't outsmart your psychology with logic alone. You need friction, like having to drive to the bank to withdraw savings, not just tapping an app. The easier it is to spend, the less likely you are to save. That's by design. Ever notice how credit cards hurt less than cash? Swipe and the pain vanishes. Stores know this. That's why the world is racing to make paying invisible. So if you want to win, you have to make saving easier than spending, even if it feels silly. Try this. Unlink your favorite shopping app from your bank account for a month. Or set a rule, no buying anything online until you've waited 48 hours. Suddenly, you'll notice how many purchases were just habits, not needs. Here's the final twist. The psychology of money isn't about being perfect. It's about designing your defaults. You're not lazy or bad with money. You're just human, built to take the path of least resistance. So the secret isn't grinding harder. It's making your good choices effortless and your bad ones a little bit annoying. Most people never get this. They blame themselves for every slip-up, then give up entirely. But the ones who quietly build wealth, they set up systems that protect them from, well, themselves. Remember the curiosity we opened with? Why do some people get rich and others go broke when math alone can't explain it? The answer: it's not what you know, it's what you repeat without thinking. If you want to change your money, change your defaults, not your dreams. That's the real psychology of money. Ignore the hype, design your systems, and let time do the rest. Ready for the next step? See how tiny money habits can snowball into real wealth in our next video, just one click away. But let's rewind. Why do we crave stuff in the first place? Blame dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. Every time you window shop or scroll deals, your brain gets a mini hit before you even buy. It's why you can feel broke, yet still crave a new gadget. The thrill is in the chase, not the catch. Retailers know this. That's why sales countdowns and limited stock banners exist, to trigger FOMO and hijack your brain. The hidden cost? We're training ourselves to react, not reflect. And the more we react, the emptier our wallets get. Here's an experiment. Try writing down every purchase for a week. Yes, even that $2 coffee. You'll spot patterns you never noticed, like late-night snacks or endless subscriptions. Awareness alone can short-circuit the dopamine loop and save you hundreds without feeling deprived. But let's get weirder. Why do we love sales, even when we don't need the stuff? Scarcity is a psychological magnet. Your brain hates missing out more than it loves winning. In one experiment, shoppers paid 50% more for cookies when they believed supplies were running out. So next time a timer ticks down, ask yourself, would I want this at full price with zero urgency? If not, walk away. Your future self will thank you, in interest and in peace. Let's dig into another hidden force: social proof. Ever notice how you feel safer buying something with thousands of reviews? We're wired to copy the herd. It's ancient survival logic. But in money, it's a shortcut to disaster. In the dot-com bubble, millions followed friends into tech stocks. Most lost everything. The lesson? When you copy, you outsource your thinking and your future. If you want to stand out, embrace being the oddball who saves when others splurge. It might feel awkward, but quietly, you'll be the one left standing when the music stops. Now, let's tackle a silent killer: decision fatigue. Every choice costs mental energy and money. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same shirt every day for a reason. One less choice means more brain power for what matters. Apply that to money. Automate bills, subscriptions, and savings so you don't waste willpower on trivia. Suddenly, your energy is freed up for bigger wins, like negotiating a raise or learning to invest. Here's a micro habit with major payoff. Set up a savings transfer for every payday. Automate, forget, repeat. It's boring, but it's magic. Over a decade, $50 a week becomes $34,000 without you ever missing it. Most millionaires, quiet, boring savers, not crypto cowboys or meme stock gamblers. Here's the irony. The less you think about money, the richer you often get, if your systems run on autopilot. But don't get too comfortable. Review your systems once a year. Even autopilot needs a checkup. The biggest risk? Neglect. Subscriptions creep, fees multiply, and forgotten accounts bleed you dry. So, set a calendar reminder. Audit, adjust, and celebrate tiny wins. Small tweaks beat big regrets. If you've stuck with me this far, you're already ahead. Most people never question their defaults. They just drift. But now you know. Money isn't math class. It's psychology, habits, and a sprinkle of mischief. Change your environment, your story, and your systems, and watch your money life quietly transform. The best part? You don't have to be perfect, just consistent enough to outsmart yourself. Ready for your next tiny experiment? Drop your favorite money hack in the comments, then try someone else's for a week. Who knows? Your new default might start right there. One click, one tiny system, one less worry.